A very good afternoon to all. Thai Talk Season 2 is yet again with a very eminent speaker today. Today we have Dr. Pratisha Bhatt, PhD Microbiology, and ma'am has been a lecturer at Bhavnagar University, Counsellor CPS, Collaborative and Proactive Solutions Model. Ma'am is also a speaker at B Parenting Talks. So today ma'am is going to talk about on a very wonderful topic, that is discipline, which is very much needed and a need of an hour. So Thai team welcomes you ma'am. The
Thank
screen is all yours. Thank you ma'am for being here.
okay. Hello, everybody. I'm extremely happy to be here once again on the Thai platform with such a wonderful audience, and the work that you are doing has brought Bhavnagar much forward. Now, when I will talk on discipline, the beautiful word. The term discipline is often misunderstood as punishment, but discipline in fact means to teach. If I introduce and compare the two terms, self discipline and disciplining the child, I would like to say that self discipline is so difficult. If we decide to go for a walk every day at 7 p.m., we go for a few days, again it fizzles out, we start again, and once again we stop. Often this habit is broken down. So we know that self discipline is so difficult. Then disciplining the child is an even more tougher job. When the child does not do as we want the child to do, we often yell, we hit the child, and we even give punishments. Corporal punishments are greatly uh, avoided, should be avoided today. Now, no problem occurs in the problem can be solved in the heat of the moment. Now, I would like to bring to your notice some examples. When my son was little, he was studying in kindergarten. He was going to school, and every Monday he would not go to school. It would be a normal morning. He would wake up, have his breakfast, get dressed for school. But the moment the van arrived, he would lock himself up in a room and refuse to go to school. After about 30 minutes, when he was safe, he would come out and continue a normal day. He would play, he would study, he would do anything, a very obedient child for the rest of the day. I could not understand what was going wrong. I tried to tell him that one has to go to school, that school is important, that education is the base of a child's life, it decides his future. But I could not get him to school on Mondays. After a few Mondays, suddenly he started going to school. Another incident when one day he came home and told me that he had won the quiz competition. I was surprised because the teacher had never informed us of a quiz competition to be held in the school. I thought maybe the practice sessions have started, and I went to his school. The teachers had already left, but I met the principal and she congratulated me, telling me that my son had indeed won the first prize. Then she said, "Do you know that he has hit a child in school a few days ago?" I said, "No, I'm not aware of it." She said that in the recess when he was playing, he hit another child on the head with a stone. The child's head was bleeding. And she said that we also called the parents, but they did not make an issue out of it, and so we did not inform you. Also, normally he is a very pleasant, friendly, and a disciplined child, so we thought one event did not need to be given such importance. So what I want to draw your attention to by both these examples is that the cause of misbehavior is because of an unsolved problem. We try to control the child's behavior, we try to manage the child's misbehavior, but actually, such misbehaviors are caused because of some problem that the child is unable to solve. He does not possess the skills to solve those problems. After hitting the child, when I asked him, my son did not reply. But when he was in the 10th standard and we were going for a walk one day, he said, "Mom, do you remember I had hit a classmate once in school?" "Yes, of course I remember," I said. He said that the child was harassing me since more than a month, and that day I was so irritated that I picked up a stone and hit him. He never teased me after that. So, such unsolved problems lead to misbehavior. So when a child misbehaves, every teacher should know that there is something that needs to be handled for this child. Now, when children regularly misbehave, the child is hyper aroused, and in addition, the teacher who has to handle 30 to 60 nervous systems at a time, she has so many students in her class. So she also gets hyper aroused because her job is not only to manage the class, she also has to go on with her teaching. So she gets hyper aroused. Now, at such times, a two level approach needs to be taken. At the first level, the teacher who is hyper aroused needs to calm herself down. Once she has calmed down, she can calm down the child, because an escalated teacher can never de escalate an escalated child. So, first, calm down yourself. Have a glass of water. Water has a calming effect, it is a stress reliever. And then take a few deep breaths for a minute. Then approach the child and ask him what the problem is. So once you go to the child, get down to eye level or even below eye level of that child, and then have soft features. Your body intonations should be soft. Talk in a soft voice to the child. Ask him, what is the problem? I do understand you are passing through a tough situation. Can I help you out? Okay. So connect with the child. Once you have calmed down, connect with the child so that the child can also calm down. And once the child has calmed down, then you can draw him into regular work. To put it into Tina Payne Bryson and Dan Siegel's words, it is connect and redirect. Connection will help you to subsequently regulate the child. Now, how do you regulate a child? Okay, children need two things. They need regulation, or if they are unable to regulate themselves, then they need co regulation. That is your help to regulate themselves. How do you regulate a child? Keep a space in the classroom where the child can move freely, because movement, walking, running, these are techniques that the child uses for his self regulation. So assign some space that whenever you feel that the child is dysregulated, you can move him into that space. Secondly, have a place in the school where you can send the child. Any child who misbehaves in any class, is dysregulated, can be sent there. There, under supervision, the children can play, they can move around. Okay, some person is already there so that he can guide them to move and become regulated once again. Once he is regulated, he can be returned to the classroom. This is not a punishment, this is a positive activity where we assist the child so that we help him so that he can regulate. Also, music and spontaneous movement with music also helps to regulate the child. And in addition to that, being outside in the playground with nature, the birds singing, the wind blowing, the child will be able to regulate himself. If the child is unable to regulate himself, then he will need co regulation. For co regulation, what why does a child need co-regulation? This is because he can increase his emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is emotional strength, the ability that the child possesses to regulate his emotions. And emotional intelligence leads to success, both in his career and also in the relationships that he has. So the child needs co-regulation, where you need to go to the child, talk to him, sit with him, connect with him, and then redirect him. I was once dealing with a girl who was 20 years old. She was suffering from severe diabetes since her 10th standard. In 12th, she secured 95% marks but could not get into medicine, so she took up pharmacy. In the fourth year, she suddenly told the parents that I do not want to continue pharmacy. I want to change to some other branch. The parents said that it's only one more year, so just finish off the year, get a degree, and then you can diversify in whatever field you want. The girl had recently told the parents that she was suicidal. She wanted to commit suicide. A beautiful girl, both in physique and also in intellect, very intelligent. The parents told me that she's a very quiet child and she hardly talks in the house. In fact, she never talked to the parents. Now, such a situation is very rare where a child does not talk to her parents. I said, if she is quiet, does she talk to her friends? Yes, they said. She does talk a lot to her friends. Then I said that it means that there is something missing in the house, something going wrong in the house that you need to sort out so that she starts talking to you too. The parents asked her to come for the session, but she refused. So I said, let's handle it alone first. Okay, I'll just train you on how to deal with her. I gave them some tips on how to connect with that child. And within a week, they told me that she had started playing board games with them. Within 15 days, they told me that she had started going out for walks with them and she was freely talking to them. She was no more suicidal. So, children need connection more than we can imagine. Discipline is connection. That is what I wish to convey through this problem. And sometimes the problems that arise in school, in fact, have their origins at home. There was one girl who, when going to school, had a problem with other students in the school bus. She also had problems in the school with the children sitting around her. She every day had a problem with the maths teacher and was very weak at maths. The school had tried everything: yelling, punishment, seclusion, suspension, but nothing worked. Finally, they called upon me to talk to the girl. I started talking to the girl, but initially she was really shut down. It took a lot of effort to get her talking to me. Once she felt that I was listening to her, I was understanding her, she started talking freely to me and then told me that my mom has a problem with me every day. She takes my case every day in the morning. She has a problem with how I study, the marks I get, the friends I hang around with, the way I dress up. Nothing can be right for her when I am doing it. So I come to school so irritated that I have a problem with everything at school. The girl's mother was called, she was talked to, and things were sorted out. And all the problems were for the girl were sorted out. So sometimes when you feel that the problem is in school, in fact the problem has an origin at home. बहुत बार पेरेंट्स कहते हैं ये बच्चा मुझे बहुत परेशान करता है, सुनता ही नहीं है, बहुत जिद्दी है, मैं बार बार कहती हूँ कि पढ़ना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, तुम्हारा फ्यूचर इसी पे डिपेंडेंट है, but he doesn't understand. He will never understand because the child does not have a well developed brain. The prefrontal cortex begins development, the thinking brain begins development by 12 to 15 years and completes by mid 20s, about 25 years. So the child cannot understand. What you need to do is co regulate and regulate the child. So, what I wish to convey through all these examples is that yelling, hitting, punishing, seclusions, suspensions, they never bring, even rewards, they do not bring the desired behavior. They do not discipline a child. To discipline a child, you have to sit with the child, you have to talk to the child, connect with the child, and accept everything that the child has to say. The child is thinking from his level, he will never think from your level. That is why he needs co regulation. So, regulate, help the child regulate himself, help him co regulate himself, and a lot of problems will be solved. Now, what I wish to bring to your notice is that many laws are being enacted to stop hitting and yelling at children. But in fact, what the child needs is groundwork, help from the parents and help from the teachers. I know children who are being hit at the ages of 20, 25, and 26 years of age also. So, teachers, you have a massive job in educating parents that this is should not be done because the child will forever feel unsafe and insecure. When the child's loved and trusted people hit him, he cannot be safe and secure. So, teachers, please help parents. Even if some teacher is hitting or insulting a child, see to it that you bring to his notice that you are damaging the child's nervous system forever. And get up and extend your hand to that child who needs you very much. He will thank you for the rest of his life. That's all I wish to say. Thank you. I have completed my 15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, you can proceed, Pratisha. That's okay.
Okay. I just cut down so many things from between because I was looking continuously at the timer. There
No,
was
no, no
this.
problem.
Okay. There was this child who was 2.5 years old. Okay. This is a case from Bhavnagar itself. The child was going to school, and the mother was informed by some teacher that the child is always, please, I don't wish to criticize teachers, please understand. I'm just bringing to your notice some incidents which need to be checked somewhere. So the child was always roaming around in the school at a certain time. The teacher, when she inquired, she was a relative of the child. So when she inquired, she found out that this child is always misbehaving in the class. So the teacher cannot proceed with her classwork. He was disturbing the whole class. So what could she do? She sent him out of the class. Every day when the class had to study, this child would be outside the class. Okay. So the mother also told me that, yes, I understand, my son is like that. He is refusing to write no matter how hard I try. She had twins. So the girl was writing beautifully. She was doing all her work well, prim and proper, but this boy could not get through. There was some problem. She said that it took her 2 hours to write the few alphabets that were given for homework. I just suggested her to that take him out in the playground, put some soil, water in the soil, and let him write on soil, because children love the feel of soil. Earth also calms down. So give him a stake, let him write with his fingers. You can clean him up afterwards. Let him write there where he has space for movement, where he has soil, and where maybe he will write. Surprisingly, within a week, the child started writing, and within 15 days, the mother told me that he's an express. He's writing faster than his sister, also. So, what we take as misbehavior is, in fact, the child's difficulty in managing certain situations. So, teachers and parents, you have a big job to do where your children are concerned. When you ask every parent to spend at least 10 minutes talking to a child when the parent is doing no other work, and if there are 4 or 5 students in every class continuously misbehaving, check out with his parents. Talk to him, let the parents talk to him, and you can even supervise a session where the parent and the child interact, and you can sort out the child's problem. So many children are lost at school because they do not have the skills to sort out their own problems. So teachers, you have a wonderful job to do, a very difficult job, a very hard job. I do understand, and you do not have the time because you have your academics, your curricula to take care of. But if you will spare some time for this, okay, once a week one teacher spends some time with a child, maybe your school will really shine out as that school who stands up for these children who need regulation and co-regulation. Normally such children are suspended from school, they are sent out from the school. So many schools, even in Ahmedabad, who have wonderful 10 standard results, 100% results, they remove such students in the 8th standard. There was another child I was dealing with. He was in 7th. He couldn't write, he couldn't read a sentence continuously. I kept on telling the parents to connect, but some parents just can't connect. They would connect for a day or two, and then again the mother would tell me that parents are the father and the other siblings are telling the child, murk, tu kuch nahi kar sakta hai, tu hai hi budu. So a child needs love, needs continuous support. He will falter, he will make mistakes, but he needs continuous support from his teachers and from his parents. The children who are regulated, my daughter was very regulated, though my son was always often dysregulated. She did not need such help. Only some children who are dysregulated need help. So please, teachers, you have a wonderful and a very onerous job in front of you. So my best wishes to you. Thank you.
as sorry to interrupt you in between, but you started with the statement that discipline is termed as punishment. So yes, it is true that when you try to discipline children, it is said that we are punishing. The tips you gave for the teacher to to get connected, to stay calm, that is also very helpful. That a teacher who is escalated may not be able to calm and cool the child. All the tips of regulations which you have given to us are definitely going to be very helpful to you. We thank a lot to you for being here, sparing your time and giving us this wonderful tips for those children who really are neglected in the classes or who are not able to make up. I thank you once again on the behalf of the TIE team, ma'am. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much.